Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 bike rack, and we're going to see how it works with our 2025 Mazda CX-30. So the Sherpa 2.0 is a two-bike platform bike rack that'll fit into your 2-inch hitch on your Mazda CX-30. It is wheel mounted through this hook and post here, and a second point of contact with a ratcheting wheel strap on the rear wheel here. It can accommodate up to 40 pounds per bike tray. So that leaves a wide range of bikes you could do, although that might be a little bit light for a lot of the e-bikes that are out there on the market. And the rear wheel tray is going to rotate to accommodate for wider wheelbases. And Kuat provides us with some extra security on the Sherpa 2.0 by providing us with an included cable lock, which will anchor and can be locked right here. And that's going to be key to the included locking hitch pin. So you are going to be able to secure your bike to the rack as well as securing your rack into the hitch on your vehicle. So let's take a look at how the Sherpa 2.0 fits on our Mazda CX-30. One thing to note if you want to kind of scale this against the bike that you own at home, the bike we have today has a large size frame, 15-inch handlebars, and large pedals. So using that to compare with the bike at home, you should be able to scale it and get a good idea of how yours is going to fit with the Sherpa 2.0. But as you can see here, we've got a good amount of distance between the bike and the back of the vehicle here. The pedal is not really in any danger of hitting the back of it. The handlebars are high up enough that, and with this sloped rear windshield, it's not really in any danger of hitting anything either. Even if we were on kind of a rougher back road or something when we're heading to the trail, I don't think you're going to be in any danger of these making contact with each other. But as far as safety is concerned, we are going to have some visual obstructions when we have a bike mounted up on our rack. For one thing, the Sherpa actually holds the bike a bit higher up than your hitch, so you are going to see some of your bike through your rear window. As far as other drivers are going to be concerned, we're going to have some partial obstruction to your taillights as well as your license plate. But importantly for you, we are going to have some obstruction coming out of your backup camera, so it's a good idea to understand what kind of footprint this is leaving behind your bumper. So if we measure to the furthest point of the bike rack here from our bumper, we're going to be extending out about 32 inches. So just keep that in mind. You've got almost 3 feet extra hanging off your back bumper. You need to be able to account for that when you're backing into a tight space or trying to parallel park. The other thing that we're going to take a look at is our ground clearance. So from the furthest point of the bike rack, we've got about 20.5 inches of ground clearance, and that should honestly be plenty, but it is something that you do need to keep in mind if you're approaching a steep incline or driveway. And I had mentioned earlier that this bike rack can accommodate bikes up to 40 pounds. Without any type of load assist, just make sure that you're comfortable getting your bike up to a height of about 20.5, maybe 21 inches in order to get it loaded and unloaded from the Sherpa 2.0. One of the questions that we get a lot here at etrailer when it comes to hitch-mounted bike racks is, will I have access to my cargo area while I have a bike loaded on the rack? The Sherpa 2.0 does have a tilt-away feature. It's activated a little bit differently than you see on a lot of other bike racks. We have this lever right here that if we brace our bike and pull back on that lever, it's going to allow us to tilt the bike away from the vehicle. And we've actually got a pretty aggressive tilt here with the Sherpa 2.0, which is going to leave us plenty of room to get in and out of our cargo area without removing the bike. So now I can load up on equipment, grab my shoes, load up on water, grab a snack, whatever it might be, without having to remove the bike. And, maybe on the way home from the trail, you needed to stop by the store and grab a few things. Now you can do all that really conveniently with this tilt-away feature. And to get it back up into its riding position, you don't need to engage the lever again. All you need to do is lift up against it. It'll click into place, and now you're ready to hit the road. And loading and unloading your bike is a really, really easy process. When unloading the bike, you're going to want to detach your wheel strap before detaching your post and hook. When you're loading the bike, you want to make sure you engage this first in order to keep the bike upright while you put on your wheel strap. So in removing the bike, what we're going to end up doing first is coming back here to our rear wheel strap. We're going to depress this tab here, That's going to release our strap. We're just going to feed that through the spokes and clear it out the other side of the wheel. Next, we'll come over here to our front wheel with the post and hook. We're going to depress this button up here at the top, lift this away, and clear our wheel. At this point, we're able to lift our bike, bring it down to the ground, and now we can either store it or hit the trail. So the Sherpa 2.0 is a powder-coated aluminum, making the bike rack weigh only about 32 pounds. However, if you're somebody that rides frequently enough, you're probably not going to be wanting to take it in and out of the hitch all the time. So it does actually have a tilt-up or a stowaway feature, and you could do that by using the same lever that we had right here for the tilt-away. We're going to go ahead and gauge that again, and this time we're going to lift up against the bike rack and up to the vehicle. Now we've significantly cut down that footprint that we left behind our bumper. We've got it down to about 14 inches, maybe a little bit over that. So you've still got a little more than a foot back here to take into account, but that's significantly easier than the whole thing being deployed. We've also regained a bit of visibility. We've got full view out of our rear window. Other drivers have full view of our taillights. However, we have at this point pretty much completely blocked our license plate as well as our rear view camera. So while we still cut down, that footprint significantly back here, you still want to be able to be conscious and account for what we have left, because you're not going to get very good visibility out of that rear view camera. And one more kind of clever feature about the Sherpa 2.0, and they really kept the frequent rider kind of in mind with this, is as you're walking back up to your car with your bike, maybe you have your hands full, helmet, things like that, you can actually use this lever as a foot pedal to go ahead and press down and disengage it, deploy the Sherpa 2.0, and get your bike loaded up, really kind of using only one hand in order to do it. So just a little bit of extra convenience with the Kuat Sherpa 2.0. So if after watching this video you decide that this is the bike rack for you and your Mazda CX-30, and you get it and you have the opportunity to use it a few times, please share with us what you think about it in the comments below. We would love to share your experience with other neighbors just like you so that they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.